morning. It's Mary McLeod with Self-Love Sessions. How are you this fine Sunday? It's a beautiful day. And all days are beautiful if you look for the beauty in them. Doesn't matter what the weather's doing. Doesn't matter if the sun's shining. It doesn't matter if life is going to plan. You can always find beauty in every moment if you look for it. It's just finding the inspiration or finding the will to see the beauty in every moment that can be the challenge. So while we're waiting for people to hop on, hello to viewers, let me know who you are. If you're watching from a page other than My Time TV, you want to click on the My Time TV link and watch from there, because then you can interact with me. Hi, Lindley. Thanks for coming an hour later. Hi, Deb. So I just got home from personal training. I am doing True Grit this year. So if you guys don't know what True Grit is, it's a military-based obstacle course thingy. And I did it last year. I got something in my teeth. Hang on. I'm nothing if not authentic, right? There's something in my tooth, and there we go. All better. And from what I hear, people highly respect the fact that I'm quite authentic. And I don't care if I have to pick my teeth in public. So yes, I'm doing True Grit training every Sunday from 9 o'clock. So this show is going to be on at 10:30 for the next coming weeks. And can you guys just give me an idea if my audio is okay? It looks to me as though the video is breaking up a little bit, but I will continue to talk, continue to share the love. And for the next few weeks in the self-love sessions, we're going to be going through some of the Angels 11 divine tools to finding, developing, and embodying unconditional self-love. And I call them the Angels 11 because I actually sat down one day and said to Spirit, I got myself all grounded. I said to Spirit, if you were going to write a book, what would the chapters be? What would you want to tell people? And I proceeded to write down these 11 things. And they happen to be the things that they're really the truths and tools that I've been sinking into and deepening into throughout my life, really. And I just think that the format that they've come out is really, really powerful. So I'm wanting to share that in dribs and drabs. I also share it in a deeper way in my upcoming program, Self-Love Mastery, which I might get to tell you about a little bit later on. So today we're going to be talking about the first three, if we get to them. So the very first one is, actually, let's ground ourselves first so that we can be really receptive. So I'm wanting you to close your eyes and really be here now. It's easy to get distracted if your eyes are wandering, if you're all over the place. But here we're going to ground our feet right deep down into Mother Earth. Feeling her warmth, feeling her support, feeling her absolute unconditional love for you. She's always there for you. She's your rock, quite literally. She's always there for you. And if you ever need help, you can go. Like, I go to the beach when I need help, when I need emotional support. I don't get that from people because I understand that people can't support you the way. They can only support you from their own perspective. They can offer you unconditional love. They can pat you on the back and say it's all going to be okay. But for the most part, I find that going to commune with Mother Nature gives me the unconditional love and the sustenance that I really need. And that comes outside of perspectives. So when you seek other people, hi Tony, when you seek other people to give you that, you get their perspectives, you get their judgments, you get their, oh, that's really too bad. And they might actually pull you down further, right? So unless you have people that you know you go to that lift you up, Go and sink into Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and bringing your awareness up through your legs and up through your torso, and feel the shimmering vibration of the field of infinite possibilities right through the center of your being. And just put your intentions in there for the next hour that we're together. What would you like to experience? Would you like to feel the depth of the self-love that's there possible for you? Would you like to experience some tools that you can use in your daily life to really sink into, to really be able to embody self-love? It's when you embody self-love, you're actually able to self-care without too much drama. Like, we all know we should be caring for ourselves more. But if you're not in a place of self-love, you won't go and do the self-care that you know you need in order to look after your health and to look after, your relationship with yourself, to look after your body, to look after your relationship with others, to look after your abundance, and to look after how you present and your purpose and meaning in the world. If you're not loving you at the deepest level, it's quite difficult to choose in the moment to care for you, to make that appointment, to go get that massage, to take that time out for yourself, to go to yoga, to do any of those things that you really know you need to do for you. So take in a nice deep breath. Let it all out. Bring your awareness up through the upper areas of the body, opening out to the crown of the head, connecting up to the heavens, whatever that means for you. Generally, it means your higher power, unconditional love, and allow it to just come down through the top of your head. So now you've got Mother Earth's love coming up through your feet. You've got God and the angels above coming down through the top of your head. And just relaxing into that feeling. Just relax into that feeling of being supported by everything around, all around, 360. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And you're here now supporting yourself. So congratulations. Beautiful. And just imagine that your heart's open, wide open. Even if you want to reach your arms out to the sides to get that nice open feeling through your chest, because then you're open to what Spirit wants to bring you, the messages that are for you today that might come through me. Yeah? So having a nice open feeling in your body, making sure that you're comfortable. And I'd like to talk about surrender. Surrender. That was the very first thing that came through as I opened myself up and said, let's write a book, universe, or, let's create a program, universe. What do you want to tell people? And the very first thing was tell them to surrender. Because if we're constantly pushing against what's going on in our lives or our relationships or what our bodies are doing, you've got, your energetics are, can you see my hands? Your energetics are all tied up in knots. And you're like this, waiting for the next bad thing to happen. Right? So can we just take a deep breath together and let go of that? And let's even talk about, who wants to tell me what your idea of what surrender is? If you don't have pen and paper, it's a good idea to have one on hand when we do these sessions, because I might ask you to do an exercise, and that exercise will have deep purpose for you. So surrendering can come, if you have any comments about surrender, please pop it in there. What does surrender mean to you? And I'll take you through the different sorts of surrender that I've been opened up to. So surrender, there's one level of surrender is, what are the habits that I need to surrender? Like as in give up. If I was to be really, truly loving myself, and here we're beginning with the end in mind. So if you want to be the person who truly 100% unconditionally loves herself or himself, you want to ask yourself, okay, if I am that person, and you are, what are the habits? And the habits of thinking, the habits of speaking, the habits of acting that I actually need to give up? Write some of them down now. Even pop them into the comments. Surrender means release to you, Lindley. Awesome. That sums it up in one word. But then again, there's the how do we release, right? And Tony says, surrender to me means letting go and trusting in the universe. Yes, beautiful. So this form of surrender that I'm asking you to look into right now is an earthly form of surrender. So what habits of thinking, habits of speaking, habits of acting do you need to surrender? Is the person who loves herself or himself deeply and truly, is she thinking, God, you're ugly when she looks in the mirror? Or does she not look in the mirror at all because she doesn't want to see herself? What is she thinking about herself? What's one thought that you have through your day about yourself that you can give up? Write it down, that you can surrender. So the different forms of surrender are surrendering to, surrendering up, surrendering out. Anyway, this is what we're surrendering, as in giving up. What's one thought that you have about yourself? Am I not good enough? I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm too fat. I'm too lazy. I'm too whatever it is. And Tony says, talking negative about myself and apologizing for everything. Okay, so Tony, what you could give up is the word I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I walked into a lady's house yesterday and I slightly tripped over her, the thing that was holding the door open. I slightly tripped over the thing. She says, oh, sorry. I'm like, how do you get to take responsibility for my not being aware enough that I tripped over a thing and that was actually just blocking the door? It was right over to the side. It wasn't right in the middle of the floor. But she's a person who says sorry for everything. And you know what that means? It means on some level, you're apologizing for your existence on the planet. You're saying, I'm sorry I was born. And there might be seeds of that. Maybe your mom or dad made you feel like you were a total burden to them. Yeah, that's not something we need to criticize. Alexis says, maybe she's relating to this. Yeah? So if you are a person who says, oh, sorry, like the entire burden of the entire world, all the world's problems are yours, you sort of feel like, oh, it must be my fault on some level. Would you be willing to let go of the thought that you're somehow responsible for other people's pain and lives, negativities? Yeah? Oh, okay, that is correct, Tony. Awesome. So if you think of one, you said you talk negative about yourself, just identify one exact phrase that you hear yourself say to you. Yeah? And agree that whenever that thought comes in your mind, you're going to switch it around and say, hey, you know what? That's not actually true about me. Or you can actually embrace it another way. You can say, yeah, that is actually true about me. And now that I've accepted that, I can change it, right? So if you're saying to yourself, there's always a way of reframing it. So if you gave me an example of the negative thought, I can help you guys figure out how to reframe it so it feels positive. So for me, I used to have a thought in my head a lot, oh, you're so lazy, Mary, right? So I reframed that and I went, you know what? I like conserving my energy, right? So I like putting my energy into things that I feel are really worthwhile. So I'm not actually being lazy. Lazy is not actually a negative thing to be. It's just that we put a negative jag on it and then we use it to beat ourselves off, right? So the other one for me was selfish. Oh, you're so selfish, because I had that in my head from childhood. You're such a selfish girl. You're always thinking about yourself. I'm like, hey, I'm the center of the universe, right? We all are. Let me give you this one, because we all have the selfish thing. We're surrendering to the selfish being right now. We all have the I'm afraid of being selfish. That's why we're afraid of shining. We're afraid of having the attention on us. We're afraid of people judging us for being center stage and hogging the attention and thinking we're all that. So everyone has this selfish thing. If I serve myself, if I care for myself, if I love myself, that's selfish. So Spirit is feeling very strong right now. They want us to reframe the word selfish so that we see that being selfish, okay, being the center of the universe is actually a fact. If you think about where you are, if you close your eyes and you imagine the farthest distance in front of you, you can imagine, you know, like all over the hills, over the plains, over the oceans, right? It goes on for infinity, right? Now, if you keep your eyes closed and imagine above you, everything that goes up above, out into the clouds, out into the stratosphere, it goes on for infinity. If you keep your eyes closed and imagine what's underneath you, it goes on for infinity. What's out to the sides of you? There's land, there's hills, there's dales, there's ocean, there's horizon. It goes on for infinity. Are you the center of the universe? I'm just waiting for a yes. You are. You're the center of the universe. So anytime you think, oh man, do you think that, you know, you're the center of the universe? Well, you go, all right, well, the F word wants to come up. Fuck yeah, I am the center of the universe. And when I fill up my own cup, it overflows to others. You can't be trying to give without filling up your own cup. So are you willing to surrender a habit of thought? Alexa says no. I'm not sure what you're saying, no. Tony says, yes, I am my center. Awesome. And another comment. I was born an empath. Yes, a lot of people are empaths coming out of the woodwork. I would love to have a conversation about empaths another time, most definitely, because I would identify myself as that. But we need to make it fluid, and we need to take responsibility also for the feelings that come up and what we can do with them. And Tony says, I have become aware that I do it and have now changed my discourse with the words. I've stopped saying I'm sorry. That's good, as that is habit. Now I say I apologize when I need to take the responsibility of being sorry. Okay, there you go. Awesome. So that's a wonderful reframe. Just sinking into all that's just come up, and take a deep breath in. Letting it go. Are we willing to surrender the negative thoughts we're thinking about ourselves? Just one for the week. And have you written it down? Write it down for you and reframe it. If you need help reframing it, put it in the comments and I'll help you reframe, and I'll help you see the positive side of it. Beautiful. So what habits of mind, what habits of speech, and what habits of action, if anything comes up there? What are you doing on a daily basis that does not honor you? It's not a part of that woman or man who loves himself or herself, right? Because if you're beginning with the end in mind, you're saying I love myself unconditionally. So what actions are not congruent? What actions are you taking part in that are not congruent with the person who loves himself? And write that down. So this week, I would love you guys to take one thought, one habit that you say, and one habit of action, and change that all up. The whole week, practice not doing those three things. You're surrendering them. Because you have to surrender to the person who unconditionally loves him or herself. That's what we're surrendering to. Because you've already created that person. You were born that person. And you already do 100% unconditionally love yourself. You just have habits of mind and body and speech that contradict that. Yeah? Hi, Savitri. Okay, so you have the thought that you're fat, and you say the words out loud, I'm fat. And you take the actions of someone who feels that she's fat. And is having extra cells or extra stuff in your cells, is that actually judgeable? Is that actually something to feel bad about? You know, as the human genius creator that you are, right? Are you going to choose to feel bad because you have some extra added cells on your body? Would the woman who loves herself unconditionally care if she has extra cells, extra fat in her cells, however it works? Right? So you're using it. It's a symptom. If you're gaining a heap of weight and it's because you're feeding yourself in order to numb yourself out, that's a symptom of the lack of self-love, right? And then you're using it to not love yourself. Okay, so can you see the cycle? Can we surrender? Okay, so you're taking the action of the fat person. So identify one action that you're going to stop taking as of right now, this minute, because you need to be thinking, speaking, and behaving in alignment with the person who you want to be, with the person who you truly are. You truly are that person already. Yeah? So we're surrendering to we're surrendering habits, and we're surrendering to who we really are. Surrender has got so much depth in it. I could speak for weeks just on surrender, because we're only just touching the surface of surrender. And in the program that's coming up, it's actually starting this week, but it goes on and on. It goes for the whole year. And it's a membership group. So we go into minute detail about how to surrender on every level. So how to surrender within your body, how to surrender to the relationships that you're wanting to attract, how to surrender to the money that you're wanting to attract, how to surrender to the life purpose and meaning and soulful embodiment of who you really are in this lifetime. We go into minute detail on how to do that. So that's just one of them. That's surrender. So we work 4 weeks on surrender on all those levels. Then we work 4 weeks on the next one that I'm going to get into, which is agreements. So let's switch gears a little bit, taking a deep breath in, letting it all out. You've got a good idea about surrendering the habits that are surrendering, what you need to surrender up, give away, let go of, and what you're surrendering to. So just to finish that one off, you can write down the characteristics of the woman or man who really truly loves herself. And you can start to see how you can surrender to those. Like, what does she do? Does she go to yoga twice a week? Does she get rid of all the crap in the house and only eat the healthy stuff? Does she just one step? You don't have to do it all at once. Just take one step at a time. Yeah? Take some time to do that today. While we now step into the number 2, which is the agreements that we're making. The agreements, we have agreements with ourselves. We have made agreements with other people on the planet. We've made agreements with God and the angels. We've made agreements with, our cars. We've made agreements, like subconscious agreements with everything that we interact with. Yeah? Let that sink in for a second. So let's start with an area of your life that, is Roz there? I didn't see Roz. Hi, Roz. Hi, Bev. Just a quick hi to people who I haven't said hello to yet. Beautiful. Hi, Tina. So when we look at the agreements we've made, you might have made, just think about which area of your life right now is causing you the most angst and anxiety or negativity. Is it your body? Is it your feelings about a relationship or your lack of a relationship? Is it money issues? Or is it your feeling of a lack of meaning and purpose? Or you're trying to get your gift into the world and it's not working? Which area is causing you the most strife? There is Roz. Now I see her. And once you've identified which area of your life you're feeling the most stress or strife or sadness or hopelessness, then just start to be open to what sort of agreement you might have made with yourself or your body or a relationship or money. So I'll go through an example for each one. Have you made an agreement with your body to never be super svelte, super sexy because it feels dangerous? Have you made an agreement with your body to never be that, to always want to be there, to always pretend that you want to be there, but really you've already agreed that you're not going there because something happened in your past, right? Something happened in your past that made you feel like you did not want the attention of the opposite sex, or the same sex, I suppose, if that's you. Yeah, most likely that could be why. Or you were body shamed so much that if you even think about trying to have a new agreement with your body to be healthy and to shine and to be seen, it makes you feel like it's just too much to bear and you just want to go back into a cave, right? So what agreement might you have made with your body that you can now change? If you have an example, pop it in the comments. So for example, I think I have a bit of what time is it? It is 11. There is a part of me who, because right now I'm, we don't have to talk about age, but I'm older, right? I don't care if you know how old I am. I'm 53. But my natural self, when I'm really eating right and exercising the way I love to, and not having other assorted habits, my body turns into, it kind of looks like a teenager's again. Like I get really muscular, I get really fit looking. And I have a bit of an agreement with my body right now that that's not okay, because I get attention from much younger guys that they don't have any idea how old I am until they look at my face. I'm like, yeah, see? Right? So I'm uncomfortable with that. Hence, I don't go there even though I want to. It's hard for me to untangle that not wanting that sort of attention. So I keep the extra weight on. And that's not a problem. I don't hate it. I know that I would feel even better in myself. And I am doing this true grit like I told people at the beginning. So I am changing my diet a bit, and I am going to work out some more, and I'm going to deal with the emotions that come up as a result of being sexy. All right, we'll just deal with it, because you can't avoid it the rest of your life. It's too painful. So if you have that agreement, hi Robin, if you have an agreement with your body never to be thin or never to be sexy because it's scary to have too much attention, would you be willing? And you have to say yes to this if that's you. Would you be willing to let that go and to be who you really are? Be who you already are, because that is who I already am. And it causes me a lot of pain to not go there. It causes me pain to not go there, to not be wholly who I am, who could be even more inspirational, and for women over 50. And that's what I kind of really want to be. So wherever you're doing something like that, are you ready to change your agreement? Write down your new agreement with your body, okay? Just one new agreement. You don't have to say, okay, now I'm going to eat healthy and exercise and do this and that, and just one thing, one new agreement that you're going to make with your body. Maybe it's to look at your body in the mirror every day and say, I love you, exactly the way you are. Yeah? That's the kind of simple new agreement that you can make with you that is very effective in changing what you do, what you think, what you say, and what you do with yourself every day. Yeah? Changed my life plan 12 months ago and have now lost 25 kilos. Awesome. So you had to change. You made a new agreement with yourself, didn't you? You made a new agreement that, you know what, this is my life and I value my health, and it's not okay with me to be 25 kilos overweight anymore. And off you went. Lily says, I changed that weight agreement due to other health issues. And good for you. And I know that you've really blossomed, and you just glow when I see you these days. So congratulations, Lindley. Hi, Georgie. Didn't see you there before. Right, so if you want to share the new agreement that you're making with yourself, go ahead and pop it in the comments. And we'll move on to relationships. So if your area of pain and angst was around relationships, what agreement might you have in place? So I always use this one as an example because it always rings true for someone. Have you got an agreement with everyone else in the world to be used as a doormat? Right? Or to be your kid's servant? Have you got an agreement in place with every man in the world that you're not good enough? Or have you got an agreement with yourself that you're never going to amount to anything? What sort of agreement rings true for you that you want to change? Robin says, I have to make agreement to change my eating habits due to health issues. Good for you. Write it down. Write down your new agreements. Writing things down makes a difference. It's been proven scientifically. Writing, and I know that for a fact for myself, writing stuff down makes them happen. Even if you just write down your goals, I don't really like the word goal, but write down your intentions, and you don't even have to think about how you're going to get there. Go back and look at them a year later and go, wow, as long as you're being aware in the meantime, you're surrendering the habits that don't serve that person who is living in that new vibrational reality. Because as soon as you decide, this is my quote unquote goal or intention, you're already that. You've already said to the universe, okay, this is who I am. Then you have to align your thoughts, words, and actions with that person. So as long as you're doing that consciously, and you don't have to be like working and slaving to do it every second of the day, you just have to be gently noticing when your thoughts are not in alignment with who you know you are. When your speech, you notice when you say something that's not in alignment with who you know you are. And you don't have to beat yourself up. You just go, woo, that was a creation that I'm going to take back now. Right? So if you're a person, it can be as simple as, oh, I'm so tired. Okay, you want to stay being tired? Keep saying that, right? I started playing a game of tired with myself a few days ago. I'm like, everyone else around me was going, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm like, you know what? Every moment I'm feeling more and more energetic. And I just started playing, even though I knew I was lying. But just the mere act of saying the words out loud, and I didn't care if everyone else knew I was lying. It was kind of funny. And the more I said it, the more it became true. So say it even if it feels fake to begin with, even if, we'll move on to money in a minute. But so write down some of your new agreements. I write down everything and always carry a notebook with me. Beautiful. I am not that organized. But congratulations. Robin, you just said, oh my God, I'm exhausted every day. Okay, well, if you want that to keep being true, keep writing it down, keep saying it out loud. You want to start noticing. I know that you just had some surgery. So whatever you can say to yourself, every day I'm feeling stronger and stronger. And you'll start noticing the ways that you're feeling stronger and stronger. So we were talking about relationships. Did you write down a relationship that that you've had an agreement, a negative agreement about? And how are you going to switch that around with your agreements? What new agreement are you making with yourself? If you were someone who agreed to be a doormat in your relationships, or you agreed to keep silent in your relationships, you agreed not to rock the boat, any of those things ringing true? Then you want to turn that around and you want to agree to something new. I now agree to speak up in my relationships. I now agree to love myself in my relationships. I now agree to say no in my relationships when it serves me best, because I am the only one who can look after me. Right? No one else is going to say, oh, you need a break. Sometimes they do, but it's pretty rare. So you're the one who needs to speak up in the relationships, and you want to write that down. I'm making this, my new agreement is, from this moment forward, or I decree and declare that. That's a very powerful way of saying it. Write that down. I decree and declare that from this moment forward, I blank, and write it in there and look at it every day and embody it, feel into it. Ask yourself, am I following this? am I being true to this new agreement? And if you're not, don't beat yourself up. Just notice where you're not in alignment with it and choose something different the next time. It can sometimes take a lot of courage to say no in a relationship, especially if it's with family or it's with someone who you feel sorry for or you have a lot of compassion for, and you've already set it up to where they're expecting you to help them all the time. I hear that a lot. But you still have to go in there and you say to them, I realize that you're used to me helping you in this way, but I need to look after myself now. And then you choose how often you want to help that person, or in what circumstances you want to help that person, or if you can no longer help that person. You just learn to say the word no. It's not a dirty word. It really isn't. You could be a yes man or a yes woman, but there are times when you need to use the word no. Would we all agree on that? Lindley says, I now agree to be my true self in my relationships. Cool. And if you can even dig deeper and identify where you're not being your true self in your relationships, okay? Because this one is kind of, it's a way that you could squeeze out of it. It's a little bit wishy-washy. So you identify exactly where you want to be your true self, exactly what that means to be your true self, and then let me know what that is. And this week, Lindley, because Lindley's joined the Self-Love Mastery, so this week, she's going to get to have one-on-one with me around her life and how all these Angels 11 fit into her life. So we're starting on surrender this week. I would love it if I could just let you guys know a little bit about Self-Love Mastery. So it's ongoing because we have 11 divine truths and tools from the angels, but there's 4 areas, right? There's 4 really intense emotional areas that we can get really derailed. So there's the area of the body, the area of relationships, the area of money and abundance, and the area of your divine soul purpose, right? So each one of these upgrades, I'm focusing an entire module around. So we're learning how to surrender in your body. And I'm giving you practical tools to use every day so that you can really be embodying that truth of surrender, the tool of surrender in each of the areas. So we've talked about body, we've talked about relationships. What about money? What about money? If you're wanting information about Self-Love Mastery, I'll put the link in the comments. And it's only $50 a month, and you get me every single week, twice a week, and it's really good fun. And you're going to be able to embody unconditional self-love for you. And there's no contract. So anyway, I will put the link in there after. And if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the comments. So how about our money? Because I would love for us to get through surrender and agreements on money. What agreements have you made with money? If you look back at your life history, if you look back at your family history, does your family have a deep-rooted agreement that money is dirty, or that other people have money, our family doesn't, or that money is more important than anything, like money is God, right? So you have agreements, psychological, subconscious agreements that you don't even realize, because they were kind of embedded in you. Because when we're little, we're just sponges. We pay attention to everything. We notice everything. And so whatever our parents gave us in terms of our abundance mentality, that's what we've carried for most of our life. And it can take a lot of blasting through that there is a word for it. Well, the conditioning, for blasting through what feels like a wall. It's like, oh, it's not safe to have that much money, or you find you really want to, and you believe you can have a lot more money and a lot more abundance in flow. But every time you start to get somewhere, something happens. You get a great big bill or whatever. It's just the result of the past conditioning. It's nothing to really worry about. It's actually what you want to do is think about what agreements you've made with money and consciously create new agreements with money. There's 2 ways of shifting this. Well, there's more than 2 ways of shifting this, but we're talking about agreements. So just think about, there we go. Lindley says, money is hard and you have to work hard for your money. So that's great. Lindy also said she's able to say no more and more these days. That's fantastic. And money is hard, and we're told that you have to work hard for it. So a lot of us have that too. A lot of us don't feel okay just having money handed to us on a silver platter. You know, you might be buying lotto tickets, but you actually don't feel that you deserve to be just given money. You think, I worked hard for that. How often do you hear yourself like making an excuse like, oh, I'm doing really well, or someone says, hey, you're doing really well, and you go, yeah, I worked my ass off for it. How comfortable would you be? Someone says, wow, it looks like you're doing really well in your business, and you said, yeah, it's come really easy. How comfortable would you be at saying that? Maybe you're comfortable with it, in which case you probably don't have an issue with the flow of abundance. But if you're someone who finds yourself saying, yeah, I worked really hard for it, well, you feel that you need to make it hard to make money, and you probably do have a stop-start kind of like a, you know, kink in the hose, and you keep kinking the hose. And then when the money's nearly run out, you unkink the hose, and you're like, whoosh, here it comes, and then you, oh my gosh, that's too much, and then you kink the hose. I don't deserve that much. I haven't worked hard enough for that money. Right? You kink the hose again. So are you kinking your own hose? Are you kinking it? Are you the kinky one kinking that hose? Right? So can you give yourself permission to have infinite flow of abundance and not even work hard for it? Next time someone says, hey, looks like you're doing really well, I challenge you to say something that's in alignment with who you really are. Yes, money comes easily. Money's just flowing in. An avalanche of abundance is flowing into my life, and I can't explain it. I've just let it in and let the person have their own reaction to that, because they will. You know, that it might be a negative one, it might be a positive one, depending on their own conditioning, right? It is more difficult to say that, isn't it? All right, Tina says, I have set goals for each day of the week and try to stick to it. If I don't beat myself up over it, but keep moving forward. When achieving my goals, I feel great about myself. What if you could just feel great about yourself despite whether you're achieving your goals or not? That's what unconditional love for you is. How do you guys feel about that? Because believe me, I was someone who I set goals and I worked towards them, but every time I worked towards them or I beat myself up to try and get myself to achieve, it never worked. And I finally just had to decide to love myself, and that I didn't know how to do it. I just went, you know what? I don't know how to do this shit. This is not for me. I'm a coach, but I'm not a coach who would ever set goals and line up, you know, like things that you have to do. I don't coach in that way. I coach very intuitively, and I no. So if anyone's actually in pain and wants a one-on-one consultation, contact me too. It's really good fun, actually. I've just started doing soul gaze healings, and it's something that I think I made up. So, and I just ran my first meetup group last night for soul gaze. I had 8 people there. I had 4 women and 4 men. It's amazing. And we did soul gazing, and that involves eye gaze, connecting soul to soul. It's extremely healing. Some of you have experienced that. It's extremely healing. And maybe I'm getting off on a tangent, but it's just another modality that I can offer people that is actually heals extremely quickly, quicker than tapping. So tapping is very, very powerful tool, and it's actually the most appropriate tool for certain conditions and certain ways of thinking that you want to reprogram. Tapping cannot be beat. But if you have like a trauma from the past that you've been working on and you just can't seem to let go of the last little bit, I've had people come, and in 20 minutes of doing the soul gazing and I'm intuitively channeling messages for them, it's just gone, and they've gone, oh my God. And then they just have to settle into who they are now without that issue, without that grudge or the thing that they were holding on to or the thing they were defining themselves with. So that's been very powerful. If anyone wants to experience that, please let me know. So for your abundance, did you write down an agreement that you have with money? Did you write down your agreement, that the new agreement that you're making with money? I agree to stop kinking my own hose. I agree to let money flow in infinite abundance in my life. And the undercurrent with that is, even if other people judge me for it. Because other people's judgment is totally irrelevant, and it's actually a figment of your imagination. I would write that down too. Other people's judgment is irrelevant, and it's actually a figment of my own imagination. Every time you think other people are going to judge you, it's you are afraid of judging you. Savitri says, I did intend to go to your group yesterday, then some family stuff happened. That's a shame because it really rocked. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. But in a fortnight's time, Savitri and anyone else who's interested in Adelaide, I'm doing a soul gaze for singles. Yeah, so that'll be in a fortnight on Saturday afternoon, 4 till 6 at Fullerton Park Center. Tina says, I'm a writer, author, and for me, I need to set goals. Okay, however, if I don't make them, I still feel good and reset goals. Okay, good. I use manifesting for attracting more money. Beautiful. So have you written a new agreement about your money? If money was your thing, where your most pain was, did you make a new agreement with money? That I allow money to flow infinitely, flow abundantly in my life, or I agree to love my money. I agree to respect my money. So if money was your lover, how are you treating it? Are you welcoming it? Are you telling it it's not enough? Are you avoiding it? Are you like just ignoring it? Or are you looking at it and going, oh, beautiful. May you grow, may you prosper. I want the best for you. I mean, play with your money, love your money. And let's move on. Take a deep breath in. Oh, blow it all out. We're only going to get to the first two of our Angels 11 today. And next week we'll do another 2 or 3. So we're on to how to make new agreements with ourselves around our meaning and purpose. So this goes very deep down into worthiness. Are we worthy of shining bright in the world? Are we willing to be seen as our shiny, beautiful, infinite self? Or are you someone who agrees not to take a compliment or agrees to put yourself out there just a little bit? Whereas your infinite nature, your true self is really big. Your true self is really full of herself in a really good way. Because if you're not willing to stand up and be full of you, how can you help other people? How can anyone find you? And most of us have a purpose in the world that is helping other people. If you're attracted to a broadcast like this, you're someone who wants to help others in this world. And how can you do that if you're not willing to be seen in your biggest, brightest, boldest colors? Yeah. So what agreement have you had in place around with yourself or with your gifts that you might want to be sharing? Yeah. What agreement have you made? That means that you stay hidden, or I agree not to be seen, or I agree to just be a little bit, to get out there a little bit, or I agree to whatever it is. Oh, good. Tony says, now you've hit a sore spot. This is what I have to start believing. I'm worthy. Yes, for sure. And Savitri says, I declare and decree, I easily allow avalanches of money into my bank account. Beautiful. And Linda, sorry, I missed yours before. My flaws are mine. My imperfections are mine. My emotions are mine. And I embrace them. I still have goals, love working towards them, but don't let my own personal judgment define me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we've touched something on that I'm worthy. Are you worthy? of having a really big, bold, beautiful life? Are you worthy of standing up and saying, this is me, these are my gifts, this is what I offer, this is what I think people will really benefit from, or this is my life, this is what I've learned, this is how I got to where I am? And are you willing to do that now? Or are you waiting to be a better person, or to be to lose the weight, or to change something in some way? Are you waiting? Because whatever one of my mentors used to say, whatever you're waiting for, you're waiting with. Whatever you're waiting for, you're waiting with. Right, so you're sitting there, you're waiting with this weight. And the people who actually make something, or that's a whole nother kettle of fish. The people who are surrendering to their soul purpose are doing so as they are. They're saying, you know what? I'm perfect as I am. I'm perfectly worthy and good enough as I am. I don't need to change. I don't need to work on myself. I don't need any self-improvement, right? I'm worthy now. And you know how much respect you get out in the public if you're someone who has some sort of, if you're a bit overweight and you're still willing to be out on video and say, hey, this is me and I'm proud of myself. They don't judge you. They're like in awe of you. They're like, wow. And you inspire other people to get over their own what's the word? I'm at a loss for words today. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? To get over themselves and just offer their gifts in the world, because the world isn't getting any more friendly without you. The world isn't really, it's not evolving to the point that it could be if you were out there giving what you have and what you know, even on a small level, even, on whatever level you're being called to do it. Yeah. So what new agreement are you going to make with yourself as far as meaning and purpose goes in your life? What was your agreement, and what's your new agreement? And you can write it down. From this moment, I declare and decree that I am willing to be seen and heard in this world on a big level, on a big scale. I am willing to, whatever your thing is, get out on video, or to start that ballet class, because maybe that's something you've always wanted to do in your life. And maybe you're 60 years old, but who the hell cares? If it's going to bring you joy and meaning, then you just go and do it. Right? So I declare and decree that my new agreement with my own worthiness is, Tony says, others to me have always been more worthy and more deserving than myself, and I wish that for them, but not for myself. Okay, so you're willing to change that now, Tony? No one needs to be more or less worthy. I agree that I am deserving, I am worthy, and I want that for me. That's how you can switch that statement around, because you've had an agreement to always make other people more worthy and deserving than you. And in a world of infinite possibilities and infinite abundance, does anyone need to be more or less anything? Or is there enough of everything to go around for everyone? Yeah? So are you going to include yourself, Tony, in the infinite worthiness and the infinite deservingness of this world? Yeah? I hope so. I hope you will. Anyone else want to share a new declaration? I agree. I declare and decree that I am worthy. Lindley says, I declare and decree that I'm willing to get out more on video to promote myself to the world. Awesome job. Okay. So you have a business page, right? Will you this week, Lindley? How are you doing any videos at the moment? Because I know actually you've got something on tomorrow night, don't you? You're running a group tomorrow night. So I will challenge you today, make a video about it, invite people to it. Tomorrow, make a video about it, invite people to it. That's what you do when you're declaring and decreeing. You just go and do it, okay? And I'll follow up with you a little bit later to see that you've done it. Linda says, I used to wait, but know that the niggles from the universe have got louder over the years and I need to serve others. So that's what I'm doing now. I no longer ignore the gentle push from the universe. I'm here to serve others with my Reiki, wisdom, and love for others. Fantastic, Linda. That's beautiful. So is there another level? Is there another level that you would like to go to with that? Is there anywhere where you're hiding or not, or agreeing not to be seen by as many people as you could be? Or you'll know, only you will know. Beautiful. I've so much enjoyed this. I love the interaction that I've been getting today, and I love your beautiful hearts. Let's take a deep breath in together. As we surrender ourselves, knowing that the support from below, from Mother Earth, the support from above, that's where we perceive it to be, from God and the angels, or use whatever word you like, support from the universe, are always there. We allow it in. As we bring our attention down, just closing up that crown chakra and breathing down that sense of peace, knowing that you're in the right place at the right time, that you've just received on a deep, deep level things that your soul, that our collective soul wants us all to know, and specifics to you. So beautiful. And take another deep breath in. Embodying, embracing, loving, surrendering to those new agreements. So you're surrendering. If you go back through your notes, you're agreeing, looking through your new agreements with yourself, writing down some action steps that show yourself that you've shifted, that you've changed at the deepest level that we've been working in. And if you've enjoyed this, I would love to invite you to join Self-Love Mastery, where we're workshopping together every week at the deepest level. So constantly, there'll be one-on-one in there, so I can work directly with you. We're working with each other, connecting with each other, and going through each one of the Angels 11. On each level that you need to step up and embody. Because you might be good in one area, like we went through. You might feel good on the level of body, but you might feel absolutely crap on the level of relationships. We need to embody each one of these 11 on every level. And then you'll find that it's super easy to unconditionally love yourself and to be living that awakened life that you're so seeking to embody. You'll find that you're just living it. It comes naturally. There's no more hard slog. There's no more trying, because you're just learning how to surrender and make it easy. I'll pop the link in a minute. I invite you to go and have a look and to join us. Much love to you. I'm going to look in your eyes now for anyone who wants to have a gaze. So much love. Receive all this love from your source to you. You're so beautiful. You're so powerful. You're so loved. Love beyond measure. You're so worthy. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. See you next week.